And a good evening and welcome to Don Lee Field for tonight's 12th District matchup between the Grayson County Cougars and the Butler County Bears. Last night it was Butler County that came away with the 7-1 victory over Grayson County. The Cougars led that one 1-0 heading into the bottom half of the 6th inning, but then, well, I guess the only way to describe it is a little bit the wheels fell off, but that was then. This is now. It's a new chance for Grayson County. They're going to turn to their man, Mason Miller, who has pitched very well as of recent games. Sam Gormley with you tonight, though. We appreciate you taking the time to tune in to tonight's broadcast here on K105 Digital Productions. Coming up on our pregame show, we're going to introduce you to both the Butler County Bears and the Grayson County Cougars. We'll give you tonight's starting lineups and more, as this is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field. Grayson County and Butler County getting ready to get underway here today. So if you're watching with us here on YouTube right now, we're attempting to get our stream going on Facebook. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. We will attempt to get that live as soon as we possibly can, but the YouTube option does work for those of you that might be joining us. Bringing in our commentator for today's game, Mr. Briley Napier. And Briley, Grayson County, Butler County, I mean, does it get any better than that?
No, it really doesn't. Certainly, depending on how you look at it. Anytime these two teams meet up, it really doesn't matter what sport you're playing. It's going to be an all-out battle.
And it really doesn't even matter what the score is. And in a lot of ways, is both teams are really going to be playing extremely hard. And it's going to be a battle until the whistle, the whistle is blown, until the final out, whatever
Absolutely,
it is.
yeah.
Anything can happen. And last night it was the Bears that got the best of Grayson County by a final score of 7-1. And Butler County, though, when you look up and down their roster offensively, they are led by Hunter McKee, hitting .396, 11 runs batted in, 2 doubles, 13 of 15 on the base paths as well. And last night, he had 16 strikeouts against the Grayson County Cougars. When you think of Butler County as a team, though, Briley, in 2 years ago when you played,
right,
what comes to mind?
They're just pesky. They'll do whatever they can to win the game, and you can't you can't really look down upon that whatsoever. They're going to play hard, but at the same time, if they got a runner on third and their bats are struggling, guess what? They're going to try to steal home on you. They've done it a few times on us, and I think they did it last night.
They did.
They're going to put down squeeze plays. They're going to bunt. They're going to hit and run. They're just going to try to do whatever they can to get in your head and squeak away with victory.
Grayson County is looking to bounce back from that performance last night against 7-1. Butler County won that one. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Cougars coming up right here on K105 Digital Productions. Grayson County and Butler County getting ready to get underway here today. Sam Gormley with you for tonight's coverage from Donley Field, joined by Briley Napier. And Briley, I hate to bring this up, but we're going to bring it up, get it over with, and then we won't talk about it again. You know exactly where I'm going with it. But it kind of can tie into this in a different way. Obviously, district championship 2 years ago. If you watch the game, you know what happened. Long story short, Grayson County was up. Butler County came back, won the game.
I mean,
we'll leave it at that.
It has to be brought up because it's a major talking point anytime you talk about Butler and Grayson. I don't love it, but it's 2 years ago. It's hard to say I'm over it, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm over it.
It happened. But the thing that stands out to me is that very well could have been a insert word to your team. I mean, it was devastating. There's no doubt, but it could have been a season-killing loss to where in the regional tournament you could have gone out and played Breckenridge County. Your team lost, but like I said, you were a bad hop away from beating the team that ended up going to the state semifinals. But what was the mindset that your team needed to take to make sure that loss didn't turn into a 10-0 beatdown the next game you played?
Yeah, honestly, that loss, if we would have had a senior year, which we obviously didn't, COVID happened, but if we had a senior year, I think that loss would have done a lot for us because through that off season, through the conditioning and everything last year, I mean, we talked about that Butler County loss a lot. It was a major talking point of a lot of team meetings. That game, you have to take a game like that and you have to use it as motivation. Even going into that Brett County game, the day after that Butler County loss, we were mad as all get out about it, but we were already using it as fuel for the next game rather than dwelling on it.
It's a very good point to make when you look at it, and Grayson County will have a chance to forget about that one. It's the biggest pro to baseball, is that you can move on and forget about it and not have to think twice and play another game just 24 hours after you lost a heartbreaker. We'll take a break, go through your starting lineups coming up. This is K105 Digital Productions. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field. Grayson County and Butler County getting closer to getting underway. Let's meet the starting laps for both teams. First for the Bears of Butler County, who enter with a record of 9-7. They're coached by Keith Butler. Leading off and playing shortstop will be Hunter McKee. Batting second and the pitcher is Ross West. Batting third and playing center field is Levi McMillan. Batting third and playing center field is Carter Graham. Batting fourth, the cleanup hitter will be the right fielder, Levi McMillan. Batting fifth and catching is Colton Hudson. Batting sixth and playing third base is Jake McKee. Batting seventh is the first baseman, Jordan McCready. The 8-hole hitter will be the second baseman, Clay Vincent. And batting ninth and playing left field is Chance Caslin. Once more, that starting lineup is McKee at short, West is the pitcher. Graham will be in center field, McMillan in right, Hudson will be behind the plate, McKee at third, McCready at first, Vincent at second, and Caslin will be the left fielder. Now the starting lineup for the 9-14 Grayson County Cougars. Head coach Danny Clark. Leading off and playing third base will be Dane Hawkins. Batting second and getting the start in right field will be Jackson Higdon. Batting third behind the plate will be Chandler McCready. Batting fourth and pitching is Mason Miller. The 5-hole hitter will be center fielder Caden Woodcock. Batting sixth as the designated hitter is Eli Watson. Batting seventh at shortstop is Ethan Snyder. Batting eighth and left is Jaron Van Meter. And the 9-hole hitter will be the second baseman, senior Gavin Childress. Cody Shepard will be the designated player. He will be settling in at first base. So once more, that's Hawkins at third, Higdon the right fielder, McCready at catching. Miller will be on the mound. Woodcock is in center field. Watson is the designated hitter. Snyder at shortstop. Van Meter in left. Childress will be the second baseman. Again, Cody Shepard is the designated player for tonight's game. Grayson County and Butler County again played last night. The Bears won that one by a final score of 7-1. As the Bears have now won a pair of games in a row against Grayson County dating back to the 2019 season. Keith Butler, the head coach of Butler County, of course, we're going to talk a little bit more about him. Riley, as we made the comment before we came on air, not all the time when you have a head coach that has a baseball reference page, right?
Yeah, baseball reference page, a World Series ring, and multiple innings in the majors under your belt. That's, certainly nothing to scoff at.
And we were talking on some of the players that he'd struck out in his career. He struck out guys. We were just looking at the Reds guys, since I'm a Reds fan. Devin Mesoraco, Todd Frazier, and Jay Bruce are the three Cincinnati Reds that he struck out. And those are three. Mesoraco battled injuries a lot throughout his career, but those are three solid strikeouts. It's not like he's striking out.
Nobody else in this entire county can say they've struck out Todd Frazier and Jay Bruce.
Exactly. It's a great thing, and Todd Frazier's a free agent right now, but until this year, Jay Bruce just retired a couple of weeks ago. Getting closer to getting underway here tonight, and looks like we're going to have the national anthem coming up real quick, because this is Cougar Baseball right here on K105. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field. Grayson County getting close to taking on Butler County. Mason Miller in to get the start today, and in district play so far this season in the 2 starts that he's made against Whitesville Trinity, he had the 5-inning no-hitter. And then against Edmonson County, when you combine those, 12 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 3 walks, 0 earned runs. That is Mason Miller's stat line in district games so far this year. Briley, what has been the key to Mason's success pitching-wise?
I said it last week against Whitesville, but he's really just been able to control the strike zone, and that's at the high school level especially. Being able to control the strike zone and throw strikes and get ahead of batters will lead to a lot of success. And Mason Miller's always had the good off speed, the good curveball, the good breaking balls. But whenever you can't get ahead, you can't really use those pitches. And he's been able to get ahead and use those and really capitalize on it.
Yeah, he's thrown the ball very well. Again, that 12 innings pitch, 14 strikeouts, 3 walks, 0 earned runs in his last 2 district starts. He'll try to continue that in this one. It'll be Hunter McKee to lead off for the Bears in this game. And the first pitch from Mason Miller is in the dirt for ball 1. One of the success points for Mason over this past couple of games has been throwing strikes early on. And when he throws a first pitch strike, he's getting batters out at an extremely high level. The second pitch runs outside for ball 2. This season, Hunter McKee hitting .396, 11 runs batted in, 2 doubles as the leadoff man for the Bears. And that pitch misses as well, and Miller has fallen behind in the count here at 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, it's starting off 3-0 against a guy who can really run, not how you want to get going.
And there's a cold strike at the knees on the 3-0 pitch. Now Miller going to try and fight back in the at-bat. Hunter McKee was a starting pitcher for the Bears last night. 16 strikeouts in the 7 innings. He grounds one to under the glove of the third baseman, Dane Hawkins, and it's bobbled out in left field by Van Meter, but he gets it in after Hunter McKee takes a hard turn around the bag. Hawkins, it's a little bit of a tough play in the hole, but
it's a tough play, but whenever you have a third or second year senior, I guess, I mean, you want that play made.
Now stepping in to hit is going to be the pitcher Ross West. West hitting .339, 7 doubles, and leads the team with 17 runs batted in. Miller will attempt to pick off McKee. McKee has speed, 13 of 15 on stolen base attempts so far this year, so he will steal if given the opportunity. Another big lead. Miller will chase him back with the pickoff attempt. And there's a ground ball in the hole, and it's going to go into right field. It takes a hard bounce, rounding first and going into third, and there's going to be a play at third, and it's dropped by Hawkins at third. And the runner will advance to second base, so you're going to have runners on second and third with nobody out.
And that was a fantastic throw by Higdon there to get the runner at third. Dane just couldn't handle it.
Not a great start for Dane Hawkins on this one at all.
No, 2 tough plays, but if you ask Dane, especially if you ask Coach Danny Clark, both of them have to get made.
As it's Mason Miller who is in to pitch in this one. Again, the batter now is Carter Graham. He's the center fielder, and Miller hits him on the right shoulder, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Butler County. And not what the start that Grayson County was wanting in this game.
Quite the opposite. A walk, 2 errors, HBP, and no, it's just not what you want.
It's going to be the 4-hole hitter Levi McMillan, 178 on the season. Has hit the only home run on the Butler County team, and the first pitch to him is low and outside for ball 1. Levi McMillan this season, he does have 22 strikeouts and 45 at-bats. So Briley is a catcher. If you know that that's on your scouting report, what's that tell you?
It tells you have to attack him, especially with bases loaded here.
The 1-0 pitch is high for ball 2.
You don't have a chance of a strikeout whenever you're not going out the zone. That's an obvious fact, but it's something that Mason Miller has to keep in his mind here. You don't have anywhere to put this guy.
So 2 balls and no strikes. Mason Miller gets a called strike at the knees, and now you're in the at-bat here at 2 balls and 1 strike. As the infield is playing in, Hawkins playing in on the grass at third, Shepard playing in on the grass at first. Large leads by all of the runners on every base. The pitch is a foul ball. that rolls into the Butler County dugout to even up the count here, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Miller's just got to try and find any way to get out of this inning without any damage, or if anything, limit it to as much as you can possibly do. The break even coming. Swing and a miss. Miller pulls the string on that one and gets McMillan to swing over top of it. And the lineup now turns towards Colton Hudson, the catcher, number 22, sophomore, hitting .277 with 8 runs batted in this season. Again, bases are still loaded, but 1 down here in the top half of the first inning. Miller a long look at third. The pitch, swing and a miss.
I've actually seen this situation play out before, but two or 3 years ago, Cougar pitching legend Kane Smith came in with the bases loaded, nobody out against Butler County. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts to get out of it. Mason looking to do the same thing here.
Infield playing very in as the third baseman, as there's a cold strike, as Butler County's runner at third was almost halfway to the plate on that. And
you have to be careful with Butler County here.
They will steal home, but there is a right-handed batter, so it's not quite as likely as you might see with the lefty. It's pitch low for ball 1.
Not quite as likely, but like I said earlier, you can't put nothing by Butler County. You can't take anything for granted. You have to be on the lookout for anything.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Miller against Hudson. The pitch is fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do the 1-2 one more time.
It would obviously be huge for Grayson County to get out of this without giving up a run, because the game would still be tied, but going into bat after getting out of bases loaded, nobody out, you have all the momentum in the world.
This is one of these things you're just focusing on getting 1 out at this point. The 1-2 swing and a miss. Miller gets the strikeout, and 2 down now in the inning. And for Grayson County now, they'll have to face Jake McKee, the third baseman, on this season, hitting .238 with 6 runs batted in. McKee, the righty, looking in on the right-handed hitter, Mason Miller. The pitch is a cold strike at the knees. And it seems right now, though, that our Facebook broadcast of tonight's game has just rejoined us. As we apologize, we were dealing with some technical difficulties, but it seems like we've got everything fixed up. The bases are loaded, though, right now. 1 strike and another swing and a miss. As the bases were loaded with nobody out here in this inning, Mason Miller has struck out back-to-back batters, and he's now ahead of Jake McKee, no balls and 2 strikes.
Miller's looking to pull a little Houdini out of his hat right here.
Can he do it? The 0-2 pitch is popped up out of play. And that smacks off of something. I'm not sure if that was a car or something. I heard the big old thud, though.
And in this spot right here, McCready almost has as much pressure on him as Mason because you're probably going to an off-speed pitch here, so you got to be tough.
The 0-2 inside, and McCready does exactly what you said and does a perfect job blocking that, because we mentioned this in the Lady Cougar softball game last night, that as a catcher, if you keep that ball in front of you, unless it just takes the weirdest bounce in the world, that runner's not coming home.
Right.
The 1-2 pitch coming. Miller a long look down at McKee at third. The pitch now to the other McKee. Swing and a miss. It's dropped, third strike. McCready puts the tag on him, and Miller pulls a rabbit out of his hat. Butler County strands the bases loaded, and we head to the bottom of 1. Cougars are coming up. No score. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field, Grayson County and Butler County. As Mason Miller does, I think the only way we can describe it as a perfect job of getting out of that top half of the first inning. The bases were loaded with nobody out, and he goes, good morning, good afternoon, good night, strikes out 3 Bears batters in a row, pulls a rabbit out of his hat, and doesn't allow any runs to score. Briley, you now said that the Cougar offense, they have one job right now to try and take the wind out of this Bear team, and that is?
Just put a run on the board. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter at all. After getting out of a bases-loaded jam like that, you put 1 run up, this Butler County team is absolutely deflated.
Dane Hawkins will be the man that will lead off for Grayson County. And for Dane, he just made only 1 error that'll actually count as the play that he made at third. But in another way, he could have been charged for a second error on what would be the tag at third. He's probably thinking, I got to get an extra base hit here to try and make up for the error that I just made in the field.
That's probably what he's thinking, but what he should be thinking is, I've just got to get on base. I don't care if it's a walk, HPP, or a dribbler.
And the first pitch from the starting pitcher for Butler County tonight, who is Ross West, the senior on the season. This is going to be his 6th overall game, 5th start, 14 innings pitched, and only those 4 starts. A 4 ERA with 10 walks and 21 strikeouts. And that second pitch runs outside. He has a record of 1-2.
Yeah, this is a kid that I personally never faced when I played. I know Hunter McKee is somebody I saw on multiple occasions, but I'm not familiar with him.
Hawkins seeing the 2-0 pitch, good hitter's count early on in this game. And he'll swing at it, and it's a fly ball to right field, shallow, and it is going to be a diving catch. No, he dropped it in right field. As it hits the ground, the right fielder McMillan came charging in. He had to go a long way for that one. And in no man's land, Dane Hawkins gets a little bloop base hit.
That's just as good as a shot up the middle because he is on base, and that's all that matters.
As I say, it doesn't matter how you score. 1 run is 1 run. That's all that matters when you look at it for Grayson County. The hitter now will be Jackson Higdon. He's been getting now the start for about the past week, as I think he made his first career start. I think it was against Whitesville Trinity last Wednesday. He shows bunt and fouls it straight back for the first strike of this at-bat.
And I tell you what, if you want to bat second for Danny Clark, you got to be able to get a bunt down because that's what he wants in his 2-hole hitter, and he obviously has faith in Jackson Higdon to do it, so look for him to get the job done.
Jake McKee, the third baseman, is playing very much in on the bag. The first baseman, McCready, is holding on Hawkins. The pitch, this time Higdon doesn't show bunt. It's a pitch at his eyes, though.
Be interested to see if Jackson gets ahead in the count, if he'll send Dane and throw a hit and run on, especially with the defense expecting bunt.
Because you would say Dane, what, above average speed?
He's quick. He's quick enough to steal a base.
The 1-1 pitch. And he swings at ball 4, and that was a hit and run right there. And Hawkins slides in ahead of the tag as that ball, when it bounced, almost seemed like that bounce took about 10 miles per hour off that throw. And because of that, Hawkins gets a stolen base out of it. You could tell that was hit and run all the way. Because
most certainly hit and run. As
Jackson Higdon was doing his job swinging at a pitch that was nowhere near.
Now, if you put the ball in play, you got to move the runner up to third here.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He foul tips it into the glove, and that's the first strikeout of the game for Ross West. And the lineup now turns towards Chandler McCready, the catcher for this Cougar baseball team. Infield scoots back a little bit, not expecting a bunt from McCready, but we have seen McCready put a couple of down this season, especially that he, too, has what you would probably classify as above average speed. And the first pitch he sees is would that be like a cut fastball or something? Is there a little movement on there?
Maybe a two-seamer there.
As that was a called strike, though, to McCready. The 0-1 is right back up the middle. If it drops, it's going to score a run. It will drop. Hawkins is going to round third, and he's going to end up having to put the stop sign on. Danny Clark at first was going to send him. Probably ends up holding the stop sign up as it was a nice throw in by the center fielder, Graham. But Grayson County has runners on the corners with only 1 out.
Good piece of hitting there by Chandler, and I have to assume that Dane probably held up to make sure the ball got down. Because if he's running off the bat, he scores there, but he smartly held up to make sure the ball got down.
Lineup now goes towards Mason Miller. He just pulled a rabbit out of his hat in the top half of the first inning. What a better way to get the momentum back than to have a base hit here to give the Cougars a 1-0 lead, and he fouls that one off behind the plate. Yet if you just joined us, Mason Miller pitching, getting the start here for Grayson County in the top half of the first inning. The first 3 Butler County Bears reached base, hit by pitch, an error, and it was a hit.
Yeah, base hit. Yep.
Base hit, and Miller sent down the next 3 on strikes to close it out. Runners on the corners. The 0-1 pitch. The runner, McCready, is off. It's a pitch in the dirt, and he's going to have that one stolen easily to make the count move 1 ball and 1 strike.
That is a very impressive block right there, to say the least. Fastballs are really difficult to block as a catcher, and he did a great job of getting around that.
Colton Hudson is the starting catcher tonight for the Bears. The 1-1 pitch. Called strike at the knees to Mason Miller.
And Mason Miller's done his job on the mound, but here he's got to choke up, spread out, just put the ball in play.
We have a timeout called now by the field umpire, as looks like Chandler is tying his left shoe. Appears that he's ready to go. So again, you got McCready at second, Hawkins at third. A base hit to the outfield would score 2. The 1-2 pitch coming to the pitcher, Mason Miller. Pitcher on pitcher, senior on senior. The pitch runs off the outside corner to even up the count here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm sure Miller, if he's going to put it on the ground, he probably wants to try to go to the right side to try and at least knock in a run here. You just want to get that 1-0 lead no matter how ugly it might be. The break even is in the dirt.
Miller's
our
doing
umpire has a weird thing here. I'm not sure what
not sure
what that is. I'm not sure if he was saying something to the Butler County dugout as he was kind of shaking his wrist, and I guess that might be his ball signal. Every umpire's a little different.
Might have had to be on him. Who knows?
The 3-2 pitch is a fly ball right field. It's deep enough, and it's going to carry a little bit, and it's going to be caught by McMillan. That's plenty deep enough to make it a 1-0 Grayson County lead, though. Exactly what Mason Miller needed right there. If you're going to get out, why not make it no doubt to score a run?
Fantastic job to get the run in there, simply put. You don't see many sac flies in high school because guys don't put the ball in the air that deep, but Mason did a perfect job there with the runner on third.
And that was a pretty deep right field going to opposite field.
Well hit ball.
Caden Woodcock is the hitter now with Chandler McCready standing at third base. As Woodcock is trying to get that bat rolling, it has been struggling a little bit at points this season, and he swings at a pitch at his eyes for strike 1.
He may be struggling, but you get a base hit here, and just about all of it's erased.
That is exactly right. Again, Grayson County's taken a 1-0 lead in this game against the Butler County Bears. They took a 1-0 lead in the first game last night. That's all they got. It'd be nice to get the 2 here. And swing and a miss at that little 2-seam fastball from the pitcher, Ross West.
And Woodcock has really good speed, so he needs to find a way to put the ball in play and put pressure on the defense to get him out.
Yeah, he would have definitely way above average speed.
Yeah.
He's probably the fastest player on the team. Outside for ball 1. Would you say that when I'm thinking
I would
up
say
and down?
So, yeah.
If not, there's not many kids that are faster than him on that Grayson County
especially
team.
with me gone, right?
Or I mean, do we count Chase Blaine?
Chase Blaine would probably beat him out, but it'd be close.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. And it is a swing and a miss at a pitch inside, and Woodcock goes down on strikes. But Grayson County does score 1, and through 1, it's Cougs 1, Bears 0. It's Cougar Baseball on K105 Digital.
We're back.
Welcome back here to Don Lee Field. Grayson County on top of this one, 1-0. It's Sam Gormley and Bradley Napier with you. Mason Miller in for this second inning of work. And leading off for the Bears will be Jordan McCready. Of course, the Bears had the first 3 runners cross the plate, or get on base rather, and then Mason Miller struck out the next 3. And it's, again, McCready will lead off for the Bears this season. .225 with 6 runs batted in. Jordan McCready is a big dude. 6'4", 265 pounds. He's a big guy in the batter's box right
As
now.
I think I've been called on the broadcast before when I played, I was called an absolute unit. I think that's fair to...
Is that what I called you?
No, I think it was in Greenwood that I got called that. 'Cause
Greenwood,
I was flattered by it, to be honest with you.
I was going to say, I don't think that would sound like something I would say.
but I didn't take it personal. I appreciated it, especially since I got a RBI hit the next pitch.
Not sure. Caden Woodcock's
I don't
running
know.
out to center field a little bit late. I know he made the last out, but I'm not sure if he forgot something when he ran out there.
He either forgot something or he was getting ripped. One of the two.
Maybe both. So leading off again is Jordan McCready, and Mason Miller is the pitcher for Grayson County. And the first pitch is a ground ball right back to Miller. He'll snag it, throw one to first, 1 pitch, 1 out for Grayson here in this top half of the second inning.
And after the real stressful first inning, that's a great way to start it off.
A slow ground ball right back to the pitcher. Clay Vincent, the second baseman, will now step in to hit.
We have a defensive replacement coming in to center. No, we do not.
No, we don't. It must have been a glove issue.
Yeah.
Because now Caden Woodcock is using a different glove. I'm not sure if he couldn't find his glove and he was using someone else's, and I guess they found it in the dugout or something along the lines of, because I'm not even sure who number 33 is.
That's Andrew Butler right there.
Andrew Butler, okay. I was going to say I didn't have him on my roster. There's a cold strike on the inside corner to Clay Vincent. Vincent this season, 1 for 8. An RBI, but he's also scored 9 runs, so he's used a lot as a courtesy runner. And Miller again tries to get the inside strike call. This time the umpire is not so forgiving, so that'll make the call go 1 ball and 1 strike. Cougars playing Vincent fairly straight up, and he grounds one foul down the third base line. Keith Butler, the third base coach and head coach, makes a nice play in that third base batter's box, and I think him and Dane Hawkins are talking up a storm down there. I'm not sure what that conversation might be like, but it seems like they're talking it up.
Telling.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Pitch is in the dirt. McCready will corral, throw down to first. And another strikeout for Mason Miller is the second out of the second inning. So I know I always love reading the there was a great piece in The Athletic, and again, I'm not going to hide that I'm a Reds fan, as Chance Caslin is the hitter now for Butler County, hitting .256 with 12 runs batted in and 3 doubles. But there's a great piece about Joey Votto, and he was talking about the things that Votto would have conversations when he was at first base with runners that were at first base. There's a called strike on the inside corner from the first pitch there from Miller, and it was just one of the things was, and I don't even remember the hitter who it was. It might have been Stephen Piscotty, I think is who they were talking to, there's a ground ball to the second baseman. Childress will throw on to first, and that story is going to have to go into the next inning as 1, 2, 3 go the Bears through 1.5. It's Cougs 1, Bears 0. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Eli Watson will lead off the bottom half of the second inning for Grayson County. Cougs on top 1-0. Sam Gormley and Briley Napier with you today. Ross West is the starting pitcher for the Bears. He threw 19 pitches in that first inning. Grayson County only able to scrape 1 runner across the plate, but Eli Watson is the hitter, and for Grayson County, they had 1 hit in last night's game against the Bears. That 1 hit belonged to Eli Watson. It was an infield single for Grayson in that game. They did have some runners that reached base via some walks,
Well,
but
you've already matched that one hit total.
they have in this game so far with 2. So they've already
yeah,
doubled
I guess
it.
so.
And Watson, first pitch swing, pops it up just out of the reach of the third baseman, McKee. And that's kind of one of those things here for Watson. Easily could have potentially been an out. It was a long play, but he feels like he gets a new at-bat here.
Yeah.
With no balls and 1 strike. Again, Watson had the only hit for Grayson County in last night's 7-1 loss to the Bears. The pitch from West is popped up to the right side this time, and this time there's no doubt that that one is going to drop foul as it drops behind us here in the press box.
Eli is a good hitter, but one thing that he struggles with, and he'll tell you this himself, the off-speed pitch. So it'll be interesting to see how his approach an 0-2 count.
The 0-2 pitch, he does a nice job extending his arms and fouling that one down the first base line. That's a good job there. I always love when I see hitters extend on that, and if it's not your pitch, just poke it foul.
Yeah.
You know, good things can happen when you get another pitch because it'll force the pitcher to make a pitch, in which case he could make a mistake. The 0-2 was way outside. And like that,
I think you could classify that as a mistake. I don't think he wanted that there.
I don't think he wanted it 3 feet outside.
No,
I think
it.
That's probably a safe assumption. But it was a nice stop by the catcher, Hudson.
Yeah.
That's a tough play to make. The 1-2 is fouled off. Just getting enough of that is Eli Watson, and we'll do this one more time. As we'll get back into my Joey Votto story as well. It was one of the things, though, as I was mentioning, there was an article from The Athletic. So again, the batter is Eli Watson, and the pitch is again fouled off. Watson's going to live to see another pitch in this one. He's fouled off 4 pitches in this at-bat. But one of the things with Votto is he always has conversations with players at first, and Stephen Piscotty, who's a player now for the Athletics, when he was with the Cardinals, he came up and Votto was just like, "Did you go to Stanford?" Piscotty was like, "Yeah," like that was just a really random question. The 1-2 pitch, Watson is a high chopper ground ball dive, and that's going to be an infield hit. So it was a diving play made by McKee at third base, and he got up, and he was going to have no play on that one as Eli Watson was hustling down the line. It was a really nice play made down there. That's an infield single for Grayson.
And that's the play that you, as a third baseman, you want that every time. You want to make the diving play, but you almost let that go by and let the shortstop get it because he has a better chance at making a throw probably.
But it was really smart, though, for Jake McKee, the third baseman, to not make a throw to first.
Yeah,
because you have the chance of throwing it away,
right.
And then next thing you know, you got a runner in scoring position. Showing bunt is Ethan Snyder. He pulls away as the pitch was outside. But Votto asked Piscotty, saying, "Did you go to Stanford?" And he was like, "Yeah." He says, "And you majored in engineering, right?" Piscotty was like, "Yeah." And Votto goes on to have a conversation about the engineering of baseball and how he uses and applies engineering into the game of baseball. And it just shows that the difference in conversations that can be had. The runner is off. It was a hit and run. And I'm not sure how Ethan Snyder fouled that pitch off, but he did.
Did he foul it?
I think he did. As they're sending the runner back.
I think he just whiffed.
The umpire says that he fouled it off.
That was certainly a hit and run.
That was a hit and run as Ethan Snyder swung at a pitch that was almost some chin music.
Yeah.
And if he did foul it off, which is what the home plate umpire says, and he has the closest angle at any of us,
for sure.
it was a great job.
Yeah.
The 1-1, he shows bunt again. This time fouls it off. So now it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And if you'll notice here, anytime you got a runner on first with Danny Clark and you're ahead in the count, it's a good chance you'll implement a hit and run. But if you're even or you're behind, that's when the sack bunt comes into play. And here with 1-2, he might put the bunt on again, but
it's all depending on the
hitter.
Faith in Ethan Snyder as a bunter.
It'll be interesting to see what
They're showing bunt, the 1-2. He pulls away at a pitch inside for ball 2. I guess our umpire is he's continuously like flailing his right arm out on balls, and I'm not sure if he's telling the Butler County dugout that it was outside or something along the lines of that, but it's different. I'm not sure. The break-even pitch coming. This time he won't show bunt, and he'll swing away, and it's a base hit into left field. He pulls it away. You've got runners now on first and second with nobody out. A base hit by Ethan Snyder. He says, "Coach, why are you making me bunt when I can do this?"
I'll tell you what, that's a good feeling right there. Absolutely. Anytime you get the bunt sign and he takes it off and you get a hit, it's almost like come on, what were you thinking?
Why are you making me bunt to begin with? It'll be Jaron Van Meter the left fielder now to hit for Grayson County, and I'm sure that knowing Danny Clark, he
It'll
might be looking at another bunt situation
Absolutely.
here. Van Meter does show bunt, and it's inside, and it hits him, I believe. It does. Van Meter's going to trot down to first base, and Grayson County now has the bases loaded with nobody out. As the umpire now is...
He's checking on Van Meter, I'm sure.
I guess he's just checking.
He wore that off the foot. That didn't feel good.
Keith Butler, the head coach for Butler County, is going to make his way out to the mound now to talk to his senior pitcher, Ross West, who just hit Van Meter. And the bases are loaded with nobody out, and it'll be Gavin Childress to hit for Grayson. And wait a minute, Gavin Childress,
Nobody
with runners
better.
on base against Butler County in a home game at Donley Field. Is anybody else having a flashback? The anniversary was just last week, I think, something along the lines of that. We're having flashbacks.
I'd venture to say not many people are, but I certainly am, and Gavin probably is too.
And I'm sure that there's at least one person in that Cougar dugout that is having deja vu.
Chase Blaine is ready to jump.
He is ready to jump. Childress is the hitter for Grayson County. A little bit of deja vu, we could say, to the top half of the first inning where Butler County was in the same situation. Bases loaded with nobody out. Grayson, they've got to find a way to add some runs to this lead. The pitch is low and inside for ball one to Gavin Childress.
Grayson let Butler load the bases with the top of their lineup. This is the bottom of Grayson's lineup that Butler County's put on. And not to discredit the bottom of the lineup, they're on base, but still, you don't want to do that with the bottom.
The 1-0 pitch coming to Gavin Childress is again low and inside. And another thing, when you look at it, if you're Butler County, two of the batters that are on base right now for Grayson County were giving you outs by showing bunts.
They were trying to give themselves up, yep.
As Van Meter was hit and Snyder pulled back on a 2-strike count and lined one into left field. The 2-0 coming to Childress. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes. And Keith Butler immediately looks back into his dugout, and I think he might be sending someone. The bullpen is busy.
It's already going. This is the biggest red light of all time right here for Gavin Childress.
3 balls, no strikes. He's showing bunt. And he pulls back. Ball 4, he missed. Walks in a run. Grayson County has a 2-0 lead, and it'll go to the top of the order. Dane Hawkins to hit. And in his first at-bat, he hit a little pop fly single into right field and came around to score what was Grayson County's first run of the game. And this is a moment for a senior in a rivalry game that you dream about. Hawkins trying to put some damage on the board. The first pitch he sees, base hit up the middle. 1 run will score. They're going to wave around a second one. We're going to have a play at the plate, and in safely is Jaron Van Meter with a head-first slide, and they're going to send in another one. Childress slides, and he's going to be out at home. Hawkins will advance to third on the play. Grayson County, though, does get 2 runs to cross the plate, 1 out made at home, and Hawkins does advance to third. He sent it right back up the middle. Aggressive base running by Grayson County on the base paths.
That was a good piece of hitting right there. With the infield in, you can put the ball up the middle, that'll score a run. And Childress there, adrenaline at an all-time high. And if he makes it in, then that dugout's going crazy. But unfortunately, it doesn't always work out for you.
As scoring that play, it does go 8-3-2 as the first baseman McCready caught it and was able to throw to get Childress off. And on the throw, Hawkins does advance to third, which is heads-up base running by him, because now a fly ball gets him in. The first pitch to Jackson Higdon is called a ball from Ross West. And, I mean, yes, it's 4-0, but 1 runner on feels a lot better than the bases loaded, especially when you get one out in that at-bat as well. Higdon, fly ball, left field, and it is going to drop inside the line. That's going to score a run. Jackson Higdon gets the base hit as that one, he couldn't have rolled that one out there and thrown it onto the line any better. Clearly a fair ball, and Grayson County has a 5-0 lead.
An absolute dime of a hit right there from Higdon.
And you know what? That's the epitome of what we were talking about last inning of it doesn't have to be a pretty-looking hit to be a hit. And that was not a pretty-looking hit, but you know what? It knocks in a run and makes it 5-0 Grayson County.
In the scorebook, Jackson's hit doesn't look any different than Dane's.
Exactly. Chandler McCready is the hitter now, and he watches a first-pitch strike right down the middle. McCready 1 for 1 tonight, singled right back up the middle in his first at-bat. Cougars have already scored 4 in this inning. The runner, Higdon, is at first. Pitch outside for ball 1. The offense is, I mean, this is some of the best offense we've seen for Grayson County.
They're coming up when
it
matters. Yep.
in a big game after a heartbreaker last night. And McCready down the left field
fair.
line. It's a fair ball over the third base bag. Digging for third base is Higdon, the head of the throw, and he is out at third. Right there in front of Danny Clark, both grown down at third, but Higdon tried to stretch it from first to third. He's not going to be able to on the double by Chandler McCready. As that was another one that hugged that line, but it was a nice job by the left fielder to make the throw in.
That's not Jackson's fault at all. Danny was sending him, but it hurts when both of your outs of sending have been made on the bases.
We have a new pitcher coming into the game for Butler County. We'll let you know who that is coming up after this. Cougs on top 5-0 with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field, 5-0. Cougars on top, bottom of the second inning. The new pitcher is Eli Lewis. 8 games, 2 starts, 16 1/3, 2.57 ERA. And off and running, fly ball left field. It is deep. Going back to the track, Caslin makes the play near the wall. His first pitch swinging was Mason Miller. Just misses a home run. Grayson County, though, scores 4 more. And they lead 5-0 through 2. It's Cougar Baseball on K105. Hunter McKee will lead off the top of the third inning. Grayson County leads this one 5-0. And Bradley, I know did you ever pitch a varsity game?
I got a couple starts in some summer ball, maybe a relief appearance in a JV game, but no, definitely not.
But still, as a catcher, even for a pitcher, how good does this feel now that you're going out there
huge.
Pitching and you have yourself a 5-0 lead?
It's absolutely huge. You have to come out here and you have to throw strikes. You got a 5-run lead. You come out here, you pound the zone.
Ground ball to the third baseman, Hawkins. He'll throw across the diamond, get McKee by a couple of steps as Hawkins booted a ball that allowed McKee to reach base in his last at-bat, and you could tell he wasn't going to let him do that in this one.
That was a
5-3 put out.
Great play right there.
Ross West, now the third baseman, will hit for the Bears. As again, West was the pitcher, and to close the book on him pitching-wise tonight for the Bears, as he went 1 2/3 of an inning, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and he fouled down the first base line, and that one was fouled by maybe a few centimeters, but our umpire down there was right there on top of it. But again, that line, he had 1 2/3 of an inning, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and he hit 1 batter. Grayson County gets him out of the game in a quick way.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 0-1 pitch coming to West from Mason Miller. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Miller as he framed that one perfectly low and outside.
So far, he's done his job this inning. Come out, throw strikes, force contact, and get back in there and put some more runs up.
The 0-2 pitch coming from Miller is fouled off, and that one will roll into the on-deck circle, and the Bears' on-deck batter, who is Graham, will go and grab that one, and looks like he'll give that back to the umpire when he goes in to hit. The 0-2 pitch will come one more time to Ross West. Outside, McCready does a nice job to stay in front of that one, and Bradley, you know the catching mechanics, infinitely times more than I do, but it seems like that was a nice job by McCready to move his entire body to make sure that his body was going to be used as a backstop. Ground ball to the shortstop, Snyder. He bobbles it, recovers, throws, got him. Nice job by Ethan Snyder to recover after bobbling and not allow that play to become an error. And it will now be Carter Graham. He was hit by a pitch to load the bases in the top of the first inning. Mason Miller, though, locked in and shut down the Bears' offense, as he was the last Bear to reach base in this game. Miller looks in for the sign. The pitch, high and outside for ball 1. Graham this season hitting .326, 4 doubles, 1 triple, and Briley, this is the stat that stands out the most, that impresses me the most about Carter Graham, and it's going to have to wait as there's a ground ball. Nice play by Miller. He'll throw on to get Graham by half a step. The Bears go 1-2-3 again, and through 2.5, it's the Cougars 5 and the Bears nothing. This is Cougar Baseball right here on K105. Welcome back to Don Lee Field. Sam Gormley and Bradley Napier with you today. Bottom of the third inning we head. Grayson County leads the Bears 5-0, and it'll be Caden Woodcock to lead off for the Cougars. Struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Again, Eli Lewis is the pitcher, and that one's way outside for ball 1. Lewis, we didn't finish really going through his stats. A .257 ERA, 17 strikeouts to only 5 walks. So he's going to pump strikes in, so about a 3-to-1 walk ratio, higher than that, in fact. And here comes the 1-0 to Woodcock. And that pitch is high for ball 2. Now, one of the things, Briley, that you can really realize about Lewis is it's kind of a weird windup. Is in fact, if you watch it here, just pay really close attention, and I'm not even sure how to describe it, as he puts his glove below his knee, almost to his shoelaces when he kicks his leg up in the air. As Woodcock fouls that one off behind the plate.
It's certainly a little abnormal, but when it comes to pitching wind-up motions, it's all about how comfortable you are. It's all about what makes you feel comfortable pitching. So
The 2-1 to Woodcock is fouled off behind the plate, and that'll lead up the count here, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But when you have a pitcher there that does something different, I know we saw Noah Bullock here before the game. He's maybe the epitome of that with being a sidewinder. How difficult is that to have somebody that's unorthodox? As we wait here for the 2-2 pitch coming from Woodcock, and it is a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. They'll throw on to first and get the runner there, Woodcock, for a drop third strike, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, I never faced anybody throwing submarine actually, which is
odd that I never did, but
I'm sure you faced Noah though in practice.
Yeah, but we were laughing too much at each other to ever take anything serious. But really, you just have to ignore that, and I mean the ball's coming from the same place, the same way.
The hitter now is Eli Watson, and the first pitch to him is a ball from him, as Watson was the one who got that rally started in the bottom half of the second inning with the infield base hit that McKee, who was playing third, really made a nice play, but it was just hustling down the line was Watson to make sure that a nice play couldn't turn into an out. There's a called strike on the outside corner. As I'm looking here, and I feel like, in fact, I am right. Eli Lewis pitched against Grayson County in the district championship game. As that pitch is outside for ball 2. In that game went 3 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit. And Briley, so you faced Eli Lewis.
I guess so.
He came in and he shut the door in that game.
So.
The 2-1, it nearly would have hit Eli Watson, but he ducks out of the way of it.
And I know you were there. It's not on video or anything, but I distinctly remember calling time in an at-bat, and pitcher threw a little bit of a fit.
The 3-1 comes is a swing and a miss, and that'll make the count go full here, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Couldn't possibly be him, could it?
I have no idea. I can't remember when it comes to that.
Yeah.
As a starting pitcher, that game was Zach Smith, who the Cougars really did whatever they wanted with him. 3 2/3 of an inning, 9 runs against him. Then Eli Lewis came in and shut the door. The 3-2 is over Watson's head, and the Eli at bat goes the way of Eli Watson, just like we predicted. It's like the book of Eli, right? Looks like Chase Blaine, the manager, is making his way out. He's picking up an at-bat. He's the bat boy now, too.
He's too good for that. He looks a little ticked that he had to do it.
He does. He definitely looks frustrated.
He's yelling at a freshman now, probably, that they didn't do it for him.
The batter now is Ethan Snyder. He showed bunt in his last at-bat. Ended up pulling it away after getting 2 strikes and ripped a single into left field. Will they call bunt here, or will they allow him to swing away again? He's got another big hole, and he isn't showing bunt, and there's a pitch that just misses on the outside corner.
What they will call again is probably a hit and run.
Especially now with the 1-0 pitch.
You're ahead of the count, and the reason for that, if you're ahead in the count, you sit on a fastball. It's easier to put the ball in play that way.
And here it comes, and that's a ground ball to the second baseman. It's a slow grounder. It's going to be a tough play to get Snyder. They get him by 2 or 3 steps. But easily advancing to second is Watson.
And that's exactly what you preach when you implement the hit and run. You want the ball hit to the second baseman because in a lot of situations, second baseman will cover the bag on a steal.
Jaron Van Meter saw 1 pitch in his first at-bat, and he was hit by a pitch as he was trying to bunt. He came around to score, though, and the first pitch to him is outside for ball 1. So one thing with Van Meter, and we talked about this a little bit in the softball game last night, is he's short. And the one thing about that is the strike zone is smaller for him as he fouls that one off to the left side as compared to Owen Bratcher, who's 6'4", where his strike zone is double the size of Jaron Van Meter. You're not the tallest person in the world.
I'm certainly not the tallest.
My strike zone would be bigger than yours. Yeah. And that's just one of those things that Van Meter, if it's the pro to being short, is that your strike zone's small, use it. And did he get hit again? He did.
They don't want no part of Jaron.
He's been hit twice in this game. And one thing I like about Jaron is you can tell he is a ball player.
He is, yep. And he's going to be good. He's just a freshman.
And he wore it,
little to none varsity experience. He's going to be a good one.
It'll be Gavin Childress. He is 0 for 0. He walked in his last at-bat. It was a 4-pitch walk to him. And the first pitch is high and outside for ball 1. This might be a little bit more deja vu here. I think it was runners on first and second with Gavin's triple back 2 years ago.
I think he should probably just look for a nice little single up the middle here, though.
The 1-0 coming to Childress. is a called strike on the outside corner, and that ends a streak of 5 straight balls to Childress.
He does have 1 RBI on the day, though, so, he's got the job done so far.
So here comes the 1-1. Pitch again outside from Eli Lewis. So Lewis is still doing his different windup. I mean, it's nothing crazily unorthodox. It reminds me a little bit of Ryan Dempster, the pitcher who pitched for, pretty much every team in the majors. As that pitch is high and outside for ball 1. He would do the glove shake. When he would come to it, he would shake his glove. And it's kind of one of those things that it's like that, where it's nothing, it's not like you're going up against...
You're not Kimbrel.
Yeah,
going with
doing
the wings.
Yeah, or whatever it is, or whatever you want. I forget what he calls it. He has a name for it. The 3-1 coming to Childress is a cold strike. So that'll make the count move full. Runners will be moving on this pitch to the senior Gavin Childress.
So base hit to the outfield here will almost 99% score a run.
The 3-2 pitch coming to Gavin Childress is a fly ball to the shortstop over his head, and it's going to drop. That is going to score a run. Van Meter will go into third base. Gavin Childress gets another RBI on a little bloop single to the left side. Cougars on top 6-0.
That's a good piece of hitting right there. 3-2. You're getting a fastball. All you got to do is bloop it in the outfield, and you got an RBI, and you got a 6-run lead now.
Dane Hawkins will now hit for Grayson County. He's 2 for 2, has a pair of RBIs as well. He's had 2 singles to the right side of the infield. One was a little bloop single, and one was right back up the middle off to the right side. He's going to try and get another RBI in this one and add to the Grayson County 6-0 lead. The pitch is a pop fly left side, long run, and is the catch made or not? It is.
Yep.
It's made up against the wall by the third baseman West, as he had just about an inch of room to make that play, but he does make it in time. Through 3, it's Grayson County 6, Butler County 0. This is Cougar Baseball on K. Welcome back here to Donley Field. Grayson County leads this one 6-0. Mason Miller in for the 4th inning of work, and it'll be Levi McMillan who came up with nobody out and struck out with the bases loaded in the top half of the 1st inning. And that pitch is low for ball 1. And you can tell that looking at the dugouts, there is a strong difference between the two. The one down the third base line is deflated as they find themselves with a 6-0 lead. The one down the first base side has got some energy to it. So that's fouled off behind the plate. But we don't need deja vu to set in, because there is the mental thing of, you got to be sure that you put this team away.
Yeah.
They had the chance last night and weren't able to do it. You want to try and add as many runs as you can. The 1-1 is a ground ball, bobbled, and it's off the glove of Hawkins. That's going to be an infield base hit. Tough play by Hawkins as he tried to backhand it. That's an error for the third baseman, and that allows the first runner to reach in this inning. It's a play that probably Dane thinks he should make, as Colton Hudson will now step in. He's the catcher. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Hudson on the season, .277 average. Let's see if Butler County will think about moving the runner into scoring position with a bunt. He is showing bunt is Hudson. Miller checks the runner at first. He's going to step off. I think he was waiting as Hawkins is playing very deep in the infield. I'm not sure if Miller wants him to scoot up or not.
It could very well be a fake bunt steal to try to mess with Chandler, but I'm not sure if they're going to be bunting down 6-0 with their cleanup hitter up, but you never know.
Miller does the look over his left shoulder, delivers the pitch. It's a steal, throw down, he is out! Beautiful throw by Chandler McCready. He couldn't have pinpointed it any better. Looking like Bradley Napier behind the plate.
I'll give him that.
That was a good throw from Chandler McCready, and also a called strike as well.
It was indeed a fake bunt steal.
And it was done to perfection for Grayson County.
Grayson
2-6
County.
on the put out, and that ball is fouled off to the right side out of play. As McCready he'll be thinking about that one, as that is the epitome of what a catcher needs to do behind the plate. The 0-2 is fouled off again out of play. Mason Miller right now, pitch count-wise, sitting at 43 right now in the top of the fourth inning with one out. So
that's very good.
Very good for him. He's been very efficient, and for him in those 43 pitches, 72% for a strike. So he's pounding the strike zone. The 0-2 is a ground ball up the middle. It's going to be caught by Snyder. He'll throw across the diamond, and that is the second out of the inning. He drops the ball. So it's dropped by the first baseman. So that'll allow the runner to reach with another error on the play. This time the error will be saddled to Cody Shepard. Lineup now turns towards Eli Lewis. He is getting his first at-bat in this game, as he was the pitcher that came in to enter. Lewis 2 for 14 swinging the bat so far this year, so very limited at-bats in this game. And a pickoff attempt, and diving in safely is Colton Hudson. Hudson is the catcher. You don't always see the catcher steal, but looking at him so far this season, in fact, he's not attempted a stolen base. Will they go here? Another pickoff move in. And I'm not sure, Briley, you know Danny Clark a lot more. How much of a scouting report does he do, or is it non-existent really? Is that something that he knows?
I think he'll do a little bit, but he doesn't tell us much, honestly, or tell them much.
The pitch, swing and a miss. McCready thought about throwing down, but smartly just holds up.
Normally they'll get a scouting report on the pitcher, what kind of pitch mix he has, velocity-wise, but as far as the rest of the team, if you want to know it, you kind of got to do a little bit of research yourself.
The 0-1 pitch coming to Eli Lewis from Mason Miller. Checks the runner, delivers, showing bunt, pulling away and missing with it. And that is going to be strike two. Got to imagine that Butler County will not be bunting now. Not to bunt themselves into the second out of the inning, but they were going to bunt anyways.
I didn't think they were going to be doing it that pitch either, though, I'll be honest with you.
The 0-2 pitch coming to Lewis. Miller checks the runner Hudson at first. The pitch, showing bunt again, and that's going to be strike three. As he was showing bunt, and now batting will be Jordan McCready, the first baseman. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out right back to Mason Miller. If you remember, he started the top half of the second inning, saw one pitch and grounded it right out, and we're going to have a courtesy runner now into the game for Butler County to run at first base. Looks like, is that a number 6? Yep. And that is Reese Hudnall. This is his fifth appearance. He has scored 2 runs for the Bears. He's the sophomore. So Hudnall is the courtesy runner now at first for the catcher, Colton Hudson, and Miller's going to step off and see the lefty Jordan McCready now. And McCready saw only one pitch in his first at-bat, and that one's ripped foul down the left field line and all the way down towards the barn. That one's still rolling as we look out.
That was an all-or-nothing swing right there. Some might call it a daddy hack.
The 0-1 coming. Miller again checks the runner at first. Again, Hudnall is the courtesy runner. Checks him one more time, checks him a third time, now delivers the pitch. It's in the dirt. Nice stop by McCready. The runner is off. Throw down. Is he going to get another caught stealing? He will. Chandler McCready gets 2 men stealing in the inning, and Butler County goes down. Through 3.5, it's 6-0. Cougars lead, as this is Cougar Baseball on Welcome back, Grayson County and Butler County, as we head to the bottom of the fourth inning. 6-0. Grayson County leads. Sam Gormley and Briley Napier with you tonight. So it'll be Eli Lewis in for his second full inning of work. So far, he's done 1 1/3 of an inning. In fact, I just mentioned that his windup reminds me kind of not directly of Ryan Dempster, just where it's something unconventional that he does in his windup. But he just did the Ryan Dempster in his last warm-up throws. He just did the glove shake. So maybe he's listening and heard the Ryan Dempster reference. It'll be Jackson Higdon to lead off for Grayson County in his last at-bat. He golfed a shot down the left field line, and I can say that because Jackson was a member of the golf team. And that's pretty much what he did, is it was a perfect little pitch shot. So you could say that if he was golfing, he almost hit a hole-in-one on that one because he was going right towards the hole.
Pretty perfect.
Infield playing back to him, and Higdon swings to the first pitch and skies one out of play behind us. Looks like it's going towards the school.
I'll say one thing for Higdon. He does, for somebody who hasn't played in quite some time, he has a pretty lefty swing. If he squares the ball up, he'll get a base hit.
The 0-1 coming to Higdon is outside for ball one. Mason Miller so far, 4 innings of shutout baseball, continuing his scoreless inning streak, trying to keep that going and shut the door on the Bears. Jackson Higdon going to try and lead off to get some insurance for Miller. And that one's fouled down the first base line. Takes a hard bounce off that metal wall down there. And the right fielder, McMillan, will run over. He'll throw it into first base coach.
That is the legend
Hunter
himself,
Shirella,
Hunter
isn't it?
Shirella.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like Jody Nutt down there. The 1-2. Called strike 3. Higdon watches a pitch, and that was a good pitch from Eli Lewis.
It was. Coach Jody Nutt is leading the youth of tomorrow down there at the Little League Baseball Park.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you have a special connection to him, I know.
A little bit.
Chandler McCready will hit now. He's 2 for 2 tonight for Grayson, a double and a single. And a cold strike at the knees. So you know what that means if he's got a double and a single, right, Briley?
He's going to get another base hit here and get on base.
I was going to say he's a triple and a homer away from the cycle.
You can't think that.
And that's a line drive right to the shortstop, McKee, for the second out of the inning. Did you ever hit for the cycle, though, Briley?
I was a triple short once.
Really?
But, looking at me, I had one triple, I believe, in my career, but I certainly did not get the cycle.
Maybe one day.
I think my playing days have come
You
and
officially
gone.
announced your retirement?
My retirement is getting announced tomorrow.
Oh, okay. And first pitch to Mason Miller, he wears it in the back, so he'll take first base.
That was a curveball. That didn't hurt him, I'll tell you that.
And that slipped out of his hands, and looks like we got an assistant coach. Is that Buddy Hobby making his way out there?
Getting a pinch runner.
Oh, we have a courtesy runner. That's what it is. Keaton Hodges, I believe, is going to be the courtesy runner there for Grayson County. And I was thinking of somebody who might be faster than Caden on the team. Keaton would probably be in that conversation at least somewhat.
He's very quick. He's an athlete. He's going to be a good one as well.
Yeah, he'll be somebody to watch on the Cougar football team as well in the coming years. Yes, he's got some starts at running back. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to have to beef up a little bit. The first pitch to Caden Woodcock. It's a cold strike. Woodcock tonight, 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts.
Woodcock here, if he gets a fastball down the heart of the plate, he's got to jump on it and try to put the ball in play.
Try and add to this 6-0 lead. He'll foul one off to the right side out of play. As Woodcock now is just going to be in defending mode here. He doesn't want to go down on strikes for the 3rd time in this at-bat. The runner Hodges is at first. Courtesy running for Mason Miller. He has a big lead. The pitch fouled off. Just getting enough of that is Mason Miller. And you hear that ping as it smacks off one of the poles holding the net up. Eli Lewis, a long look in. Checks the runner once. Now we'll deliver the 0-2 pitch, and it's popped straight up to the left side. The third baseman, West, angles over into foul territory and makes the play. Through 4 innings, Grayson County leads Butler County 6-0. This is Cougar Baseball right here on K105. 7, 8, 9 in the order here for Butler County. It'll be Jordan McCready. It'll be Vincent and Caslin to hit for the Bears. Trying to find themselves some runs here as they trail this one 6-0. It's Sam Gormley and Briley Napier with you tonight on the call here from Don Lee Field. And a little chilly, but it's turned out to be a very nice night.
It feels just fine up here in the press box.
Oh, we're nice. It's not heated up here, but it's been shut the rest of the day, so we got like nice solar energy, I guess you could say, right? Keeping us warm.
Feels
61 degrees is what they're saying the temperature is outside. We're feeling very nice. It's probably a balmy 74 in here. As the first pitch swinging is McCready. It's a fly ball, shallow center field, and that's a nice play by Caden Woodcock. He goes down to his knee to make a play on that one. Nice play by Caden.
That is a good play. That's a good first out.
So seeing one pitch and swinging is Jordan McCready. That's exactly how the top half of the second inning went.
Yep.
And that's how the top half of the fifth will begin. Hitting now will be Clay Vincent. He struck out in his first at bat, and he swings at a pitch in the dirt. The first one there. As the wind is the only thing probably that is making it feel colder than it actually is. It is blowing, I guess, pretty much straight out right now. And Miller gets a pitch outside to move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. It's kind of swirling.
Yeah, here at Don Lee Field, you do not see the wind blowing out too often. So this is a pretty rare occurrence, honestly.
The 1-1 is a ground ball to the shortstop, Snyder. He corrals. He'll throw. A tough play. Safe. Beating it out is Clay Vincent, as it was a really close play at first. But that will put a runner on base. And for Butler County, that's one of their first hits of this game, as Mason Miller has really shut the door. That's only hit number 2 for the Bears. That first hit came
in the first
inning on the base hit to right field. And that'll be Chance Caslin. He's 0 for 1. And in his one at bat, he grounded out to Gavin Childers at second. Double play depth against Grayson County, and the first pitch he sees, he'll foul it off out of play. Caslin, the left fielder, hitting .256 coming into tonight's game with 3 doubles. Miller, the pitcher against Chance Caslin. The runner, Vincent, is at first. 6-0, Grayson County leads, and that one is inside, nearly hits Chance Caslin, and he kind of bailed out of the way of that one. And it's kind of one of those that if you turn the shoulder, he could have worn that one off the left shoulder.
When you have an offense that's struggling, you turn that shoulder and you get yourself a free base.
The 1-1 pitch now comes to Caslin. Miller goes inside again, swing and a miss, pickoff attempt in safely. It was very close, though, down there at first base. As Vincent got a little bit too big of a secondary lead.
That, and he came back into first. I mean,
gingerly.
Pretty lazy. He almost had the out.
The 1-2 to Chance Caslin. Mason Miller checks the runner, pickoff attempt. He's in easily. As Miller, again, checks the runner very quickly. That time, looks over that left shoulder. The stare down and the pitch inside, and it's fouled off down the left field line. And running over to go grab that one is Jaron Van Meter. He'll throw it in to Dane Hawkins, who will toss it off to Keith Butler, the third base coach for the Butler County Bears. And, of course, played 2 years in the major leagues. He made 20 appearances as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. The 1-2 pitch is fouled off behind the plate, and we'll do the 1-2 one more time. As we were looking at the baseball reference page in his career, 22 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts. And his ERA is 6.14, but that's a little bit inflated. So he had one really bad start in his second year, or one really bad appearance that can inflate that ERA, especially for a reliever. Pitch in the dirt, another pickoff attempt, and in safely.
Yeah. Not to get on a separate tangent, but reliever ERA shouldn't matter. Should not matter.
You can't look at it a lot, and we mentioned we could have still dug some more to see some of the MLB guys that he struck out. We mentioned Jay Bruce, Devin Mesoraco, Todd Frazier. Just looked at the Reds guys, and those are 3 solid names. But, I mean, anytime you can say you struck out a big leaguer, as that pitch runs outside for 3 balls and 2 strikes. When you look up and down high school baseball coaches in the state of Kentucky, there are very few that can probably say that they struck out a big leaguer.
Yeah, absolutely.
The 3-2 is a ground ball to the shortstop, Snyder. He'll get one, the turn, and the throw is a little wide. And that will allow the runner to be safe at first base. just a little bit wide. That's a tough turn.
It is. I was just about to say exactly what the doctor ordered, but that's pretty close to what he ordered. You get the lead runner, and you get 2 outs in the inning. Go ahead and get another one, get out of it.
Hunter McKee will now hit for Butler County. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Reached on an error and grounded out to Dane Hawkins. And there's a called strike on the inside corner. Miller checks that runner. Castlin at first. The pitch now is a ground ball to Snyder. He'll go the short way, and that's the 3rd out of the inning. 6-0 Cougars lead as we head to the bottom of 5. This is Cougar Baseball right here on K1. Welcome back to Don Lee Field, bottom of the 5th inning. For Grayson County, it'll be Eli Watson to lead off. So 6, 7, 8. Watson, Snyder, Van Meter. Eli Watson, 2 at-bats, walked and singled. An infield single, so he's reached base in both times. In fact, if you would call an MVP for Grayson County in these 2 games, he'd probably have to be in the conversation. He had one of the only hits last night, and he's got reach base both times here today. If he can put one in the gap here, he can be very well.
He's been real productive at the plate, and he's going to play Coach Clark's hand to keep him in the lineup.
As it was fouled off there, the first pitch, I know that there was some conversation about whether he would be starting tonight or not, and I think he's saying, Danny Clark, head coach,
keep me in there.
Keep me in there. Look what I can do. As he's only a sophomore, so he's going to be relied on in a big way next year.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be probably starting at third base pretty much every single game. The 0-1 coming from Eli Lou. Actually, no, that's a new pitcher into the game, isn't it?
It is.
It is. Yeah. As I had missed that, and we'll try to see, that's number 25 who is into the game. And number 25 is Will Embry. Is the new pitcher. We'll try to bring you some stats on him. That one is fouled off.
And one thing that Eli does really good at the plate is, I think in every at-bat, he's gotten down to a 2-strike count, but he's able to work his way back, fight off pitches, and find something to put in play.
The 1-2 pitch coming from Will Embry, again the new pitcher for Butler County, is a ground ball to the shortstop, McKee. He'll throw across the diamond and get Watson by half a step. Eli was hustling down the line, trying to beat out another infield single. That one goes 6-3 on the putout. Stats, though, for Will Embry. This is his 9th game of the season, 22 1/3 innings pitched, a 1.57 ERA, 12 walks, 32 strikeouts. So 32 strikeouts in 22 innings.
Yeah, it's good.
Get it done.
And, reliever ERA, But, that's a really impressive ERA at the high school level.
He has 2 starts as well. And first pitch swinging, Ethan Snyder fouled down the first base line, and the first baseman, McCready, chases it as far as he can, but runs out of real estate. So Snyder tonight, 1 for 2. Grounded out to the second. And single to left, and a diving play! Right back up the middle, and a diving play made by Vincent, the second baseman. Somebody call SportsCenter. That was a nice play out there.
That was a very nice play.
He extends to rob Ethan Snyder.
Rob Snyder of his second hit of the night.
Jaron Van Meter. He's been up twice, and he's been hit both times. Will he get the trifecta?
I've been there, done that.
Fitch high and outside. At least Jaron hasn't been hitting the head, right?
Nah, it doesn't hurt as bad, honestly.
You can say that now.
It's been a while since I've took one. I don't think I'd want to right now.
If you want, we can throw you out there and get Dane warmed up, and he can.
I'm
he can
good.
build one. So that one's fouled off to the left side,
I've took a few foul balls umping, and that's about all I want.
and
out
that
of
does
it.
not feel good.
No, it doesn't.
1 ball and 1 strike to Jaron Van Meter. The pitch outside. Again, Will Embry is this new pitcher. Embry is a sophomore, so he's going to be somebody that the Bears will rely on in a big way next year. He will probably turn into what you would call their quote-unquote ace next season. And Van Meter gets hit, and he's been hit 3 times tonight, and he trots on down to first. And that's the trifecta for Jaron Van Meter. He deserves a ice bath or something after this game, and you can tell, and it's kind of funny right now looking as Butler County's first baseman, McCready, is 6'4", and Jaron Van Meter is 5'4",
5'3", 5'4".
So there's about a foot difference, and it reminds me of the picture of Jose Altuve and Aaron Judge. I'm sure you've seen that, Riley, with the difference there where Judge is, 6'8"?
Yeah.
And Altuve is, 5'6"?
5'6" on a good day.
High and outside, the first pitch to Gavin Childress. Childress 1 for 1 tonight. He's walked, and he's singled on a little bloop hit over the shortstop's head. He's also got an RBI tonight.
Yeah.
Multiple RBIs, doesn't he?
He does. He's had a good night.
The 1-0. Ground ball to the first baseman, McCready. He corrals it, steps on the bag, and that is the inning. Through 5, Grayson leads Butler 6-0. It's Cougar Baseball on K1. Welcome back here to Don Lee Field. Grayson County leads 6-0 against the Bears of Butler County. And it is Mason Miller in for his 6th inning of work, and for Butler County it'll be 2, 3, 4 in their order. An update from the Lady Cougar softball game. They're playing Glasgow today on the other side of campus, and in the top of the 5th inning, it's the Lady Scotties on top of the Lady Cougars 12-2. So it will be Miller in to, again, pitch another inning. And if you're Mason, you're probably thinking, let's just continue on, keep on keeping on what we've been doing in this one.
Yep. He's thrown a really good game so far. And, I mean, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times this season. He's gotten ahead in the count. He's thrown the fastball for strikes. And when you can throw the fastball for strikes, you can start working that changeup, that 12-6 curve, and you can get guys out. And that's exactly what Mason's done.
Miller tonight, 63 pitches, 73% for a strike. That'll get it done.
Yep.
And since the first inning when he threw 22 pitches, that was only 64% for a strike. In his next innings, he threw 7 pitches, 6 for a strike. Third inning was 8 pitches, 6 for a strike. Fourth inning, 12 pitches, 10 for a strike. Fifth inning, 14 pitches, 10 for a strike as well. So he's been extremely efficient in throwing the ball over the plate. Good things can happen when you do that.
Yep.
It'll be Ross West to lead off for the Bears. He's one of the lone Bears hits. Bears only have 2 hits in this game. West has one of them. He's also grounded out to the shortstop. And the first pitch here from Mason Miller. He hits him in the back. Another hit by pitch. And that's going to put Carter Graham up to hit now for the Bears. He's been hit by a pitch as well in this game, and he's also grounded out to Mason Miller. Carter Graham this season, again, hitting .326, and he has now had 44 at-bats on the season and has only struck out twice. pretty impressive
That is
number
good.
there that he does not strike out at all. And he swings at the first pitch and lines it into left center field. Woodcock on his horse slides to grab that one, and a throw in. We're going to have a play at third. The relay to Snyder, the tag. He is out at third base. Nice job by Caden Woodcock to Ethan Snyder to Dane Hawkins to put the tag on and get the advancing runner at third base.
That's a big play right there. If you got second and third, nobody out, Butler County's got a lot of momentum. That right there, that deflates them. And if you can get these next two, you're in good shape.
The runner Graham does advance to second, so you've got a runner on second with one down here in the top half of the sixth inning, and Levi McMillan is the hitter. And the first pitch is in the dirt for ball one. Mason Miller throwed a little Johnny Cueto there a little bit. He was turning and looking when he was going up into his windup.
That he did.
Again, he does a long look at second, the runner Graham. The pitch, swing and a miss to Levi McMillan. McMillan so far tonight reached on an error and struck out swinging in his two at-bats. Checks the runner at second, does Miller. Now delivers the 1-1. Sweet big breaking ball is called for a strike. That one freezed Levi McMillan on the inside corner. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for Mason Miller. And that's the second out of the inning. He's going to try and continue this shutout and shutting down the Bears. Colton Hudson, the catcher, will now hit. He struck out swinging and reached on an error tonight.
And it's worth noting, last night, Butler County, they had their big runs in the sixth inning.
That is correct. Pitch gets away from McCready. He can't find the ball. It's behind him. And the runner Graham will advance to third base.
Yeah, Butler County had their offense breakout last night in the sixth inning. And Mason, so far this inning, only 2 outs, but he's done a good job at preventing that.
As the 1-0 will come. The runner at third. Colton Hudson is the hitter. The pitch, called strike on the inside corner. Home plate umpire has been very consistent in calling that inside strike in today's game.
He's done a good job.
I think he has.
We haven't mentioned him once, and that's
No.
when you know he's doing a good job.
The 1-1 is a fly ball straight away center field. Actually, Woodcock is going to have to go back on his horse, and it's over his head and goes up against the wall. That'll end the shutout with a double by Colton Hudson, as I thought Woodcock was going to have a play on that one, the way he kind of froze him at first.
Yeah,
Then he realized that he had to go over his head to grab it.
If you look at that American flag, that might have caught a wind stream.
I think it did, as that's a double off the wall, and Butler County has made it a 6-1 game. And Buddy Hobby is going to make his way out to talk with Mason Miller. We're going to have a courtesy runner in at second base for the catcher, Colton Hudson. And I believe it has to be the same courtesy runner, so it is, I think here, who was? Hudnall was the runner who courtesy ran last time and ended up getting thrown up, but I don't think that is Hudnall. Looks like that's multiple numbers. Looks like a 26. Maybe a 29? Is there? Butler County's jerseys are not easy to
No.
see from this vantage point. Almost have to break out the binoculars for this. What do we think, Bradley? What number is that at second?
20-something?
20-something, that's what I'm thinking.
23? No?
23 was Eli Lewis,
Yeah,
the
no,
pitcher.
no.
I don't think that was him.
No.
Might be Caslin 29. We'll try to figure that out for you as we keep this going. Maybe he'll turn around and help us out here. The hitter, though, is Will Embry, the pitcher. It's his first at-bat of the game. He's 0 for 8 so far this season. And the first pitch he sees is fouled off. Let's see if he'll turn around and help us out. It's definitely multiple numbers.
Yeah, it starts with a 2.
Starts with a 2. So
And-
that could mean that it is potentially Justin Caslin. Not sure, though. 29. The 0-1 is fouled off to the right side out of play. It's the one downside to being in the press box is that the umpires don't let us know who it is at all. I'm not even sure, though, that our home plate umpire
It's 20,
knew.
25 maybe?
25. That's who's hitting.
Oh, well.
I don't think it's 25.
I was
unless they got two
talking about the
25s.
hitter, of course.
Okay,
You know, yeah.
I hear what you're saying. Here comes the 0-2. Let's see if it'll even matter. Mason Miller, the long look down to the runner at second. And the pitch is a ground ball right back to Miller. It won't even matter. He'll throw on to first, and that is the inning. Butler County, though, does score 1. And through 5.5, it's 6-1. Cougars on top. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. Welcome back here to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be Dane Hawkins to lead off for Grayson County. He'll get his first look at the Bear reliever Will Embry, who was in for his second full inning of work. Hawkins tonight, 2 for 3. He popped out in foul territory in his last at-bat. And the first pitch he sees is into the dirt and squirts past the catcher for ball 1. Jackson Higdon going to run that one down and grab it. He'll throw it right back towards the umpire, who's going to tell him to head back into the dugout. Hawkins, the 1-0, again in the dirt and again gets past the catcher. And that might have hit the catcher in the hand. Colton Hudson came up and started shaking his hand. And
that doesn't feel good.
I was going to say, you would know better than anybody.
My freshman year, I actually broke my right-handed thumb trying to block a ball, and my right hand got in front of the mitt, right off the thumb. It doesn't feel good.
I can imagine that it doesn't.
No.
The 2-0 pitch coming. It seems Hudson is okay, and Hawkins attempts on a swing.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if it's going to be a cold strike or a swing. But I don't know that he went around on it, but it's going to be called a strike regardless. So here comes the 2-1 pitch from Will Embry to the senior Dane Hawkins. 2 for 3 tonight. And again, he does a check swing. That time he definitely did not go. And the umpire looked down at first, and the first base umpire didn't give a signal at all, so I guess they both agreed that it was just a ball. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Will Embry the pitcher, Dane Hawkins the hitter. 6-1. Grayson County leads Butler County. That one's in the dirt, and Dane Hawkins reaches base via a walk. Jackson Higdon will now hit for Grayson. He is 1 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts.
One big hit, though. Those 2 strikeouts look a lot smaller when you have a big RBI hit.
There's no doubt about that. As checking the runner, Hawkins at first. And the pitch is a called strike on the outside corner.
That was probably Danny probably told Jackson to take that pitch to see if he could get ahead in the count.
The 6-1 lead for Grayson County. Higdon goes opposite field. Tough play for the left fielder, and it's going to drop. Jackson Higdon with 2 opposite field base hits, and Higdon is 2 for 4 tonight with 2 base hits into left field.
You know, whatever works.
Neither one has been necessarily pretty, but they both been
hits. They are hits. They are base
hits. A hit is a hit. It'll now be Chandler McCready. He's 2 for 3 today. He lined out to the shortstop in his last at-bat, but has also singled and doubled. Grayson County 9 hits in tonight's game. There's a cold strike on the outside corner, and that's got to be up there for hits in a game so far this season.
Probably don't have the stats in front of you, but that's got to be up there. And they're playing a good opponent too. They're not playing anybody weak.
McCready swings at a pitch high, and that'll be no balls and 2 strikes. Standing in the on-deck circle is Mason Miller, who's thrown the ball very well tonight. Did give up the 1 run, but still is keeping the door shut. The pitch from Will Embry. McCready fouls that one off. That one smacked into the net right above the on-deck circle. So here comes the 0-2 one more time. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The pitch, runners are off, and it hits McCready, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. That one hit McCready. It looked like maybe on the wrist or the arm or something.
It doesn't feel good, but I tell you what, when you're in a 2-strike count,
you'll gladly accept a free base.
Mason Miller will now hit, trying to help himself. And he did so. He's had himself a nice night swinging the bat. He hasn't had a hit. He's 0 for 1, though. He's been hit by a pitch. He had a deep sacrifice fly into right field and nearly missed a home run into left field.
Yeah. That sac fly, to me, is still really impressive.
Cold strike low and outside to Miller. Again, now he's just looking for insurance, and if you lift one here, you could be looking into potentially ending this game without allowing Butler County to even get another at-bat. Swing and a miss to Miller. Blew that one right past him, did Will Embry. The 0-2 is a fly ball left center field. That one is going to go all the way to the wall. 1 run is going to score. A 2nd run will score, and they're probably going to have to hold the runner at 3rd. But a double for Mason Miller plates a pair. Grayson County leads 8-1. The runners had to sit and wait to make sure that there was no chance of being caught, but Miller made sure that there was not going to be a chance, and Mason Miller has a pair of RBIs, and Grayson County leads 8-1.
And what a night for Mason, throwing nothing short of a gem on the mound, and you put up 3 RBIs on the night to help yourself out. He's going to sleep pretty well tonight.
Keaton Hodges is going to be the courtesy runner for Mason Miller out there at second base, and luckily Grayson County's numbers are very easy for us to tell who it is. 8-1 lead for Grayson, and the batter is Caden Woodcock, and really in this Grayson County lineup, he's been the only one that really hasn't done much offensively, so you got to believe that he is wanting to add in. Grayson County also, with that hit, moves into double-digit hits tonight.
Yep. And
Called strike on the outside corner.
Woodcock, all he has to do here is put the ball on the ground, and he gets in the RBI column. He doesn't need a big base hit here. If he can drive a run in, his day becomes relatively successful.
Runners on second and third. Just misses high and inside to Caden Woodcock. Our umpires called that a couple of times tonight, but he watches that one go by, does Woodcock. So the 2-1 pitch coming. Setting and delivering is Embry. Outside, Woodcock at first looked like he was going to swing on it, but did a nice job holding up to make sure he didn't even really have an attempt at a swing.
There is an open base here for Butler County, but Woodcock's not necessarily the guy you want to put on base, because with the base hit to the outfield, he's quick.
The 3-1 to Woodcock is in the dirt, and that'll walk him, and it'll now go to Eli Watson, and Keith Butler is going to make the slow walk out to the mound. He's going to talk with his sophomore pitcher, Will Embry. Will he make a pitching change, or will he keep his man in there?
Sure, and I know you were going over Embry's stats earlier, and this, I have to assume this has got to be his worst outing this year.
So far tonight for Will Embry, we'll give you his stats right now. 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks. So not one that he probably wants to remember. Eli Watson here, and the thing to keep in mind is that the quote-unquote winning run is at first base right now.
Right.
Because if Caden Woodcock scores to make it 11-1, that would be a mercy rule situation.
And I tell you what, the Cougars want to do nothing more than run rule this Butler County team. After a really tough loss last night, you go and you only let them play 6 innings at your place. That's got to feel real good.
See if they can't do it here, and it's going to go to Eli Watson. He's 1 for 2 tonight. We mentioned that he could be in a talks for an MVP of this quote-unquote series, as you could say. He could cement his name into it with here as he watches the first pitch outside for ball 1.
Mason's making that pretty tough on him, though, coming out and throwing a great game tonight.
And having a pair of RBIs.
Yeah, right.
The 1-0 in the dirt for ball 2. And looking down to the Butler County bullpen, nobody's getting loose, so you would have to imagine this is Will Embry's game. For Butler County, they do have a game coming up. Their next game will be on Thursday. So they will host Logan County. Swing and a miss from Eli Watson at the 2-0 pitch. They also have games coming up Friday and Saturday as well. So they host Logan County and Todd County Central, and then on Saturday go to Bowling Green, who I think something along the lines of 21-3. There's a fly ball left center field. Long run for the center fielder. It's going to drop. 1 run will score, and the runner will be thrown out at third as he couldn't run, and it's a force out anyways, and Keaton Hodges is going to be thrown out at third. But a base hit for Grayson County, plates a run, and it's 9-1.
Yeah, and that's a tough ball to read on the ground, but at the end of the day, that's a little bit of inexperience showing there. He hasn't played any varsity baseball, so it's hard to read the ball when you're not used to it.
So you got runners on first and second, 9-1, and it's low and outside for ball 1. Ethan Snyder is the hitter for Grayson County. He is 1 for 3 tonight, and he singled in his last at bat and was robbed as well by a nice play by the second baseman for the Bears. And that's popped straight up, and it looks like it's going to go out of play, and it doesn't. It smacks off the bleachers, and it bounces in between about 4 or 5 Bear fans down there, and you could tell they wanted no part of that ball. And I don't blame them. So 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Grayson County on top of this one, 9-1. They have scored 3 runs in this inning. The pitch outside. So now the winning run technically is no longer Caden Woodcock. It's Eli Watson at first base with the lead runner being thrown out at third. Snyder, the 2-1. High and inside, and looking at potentially loading the bases for Jaron Van Meter, the hit-by-pitch
Yeah,
machine.
you don't want to load the bases for him because he's just going to wear one and drive in a run.
He's a magnet tonight. The 3-1 pitch coming to Ethan Snyder. Will Embry outside, and the bases are loaded for the freshman Van Meter, who again is 0 for 0 with not 1, not 2, but 3 hit-by-pitches, and
that will
Keith
do
Butler looks like he's going to make a pitching change, and it looks like he is going to bring in Jordan McCrady to start and try and finish this one out. We'll introduce you to him coming up after this. This is Cougar Baseball on K1. Jordan McCrady is in to pitch now for Butler County. He will be the 4th Bear to pitch. 2 games, 6 innings pitched, a 1.17 ERA, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts is his line. And the first pitch nearly hits Jaron Van Meter as it's inside, as he is the hitter. Van Meter again has been up 3 times and has been hit in every at-bat tonight. The 0-1 is way outside for ball 1. I think Van Meter's coming to the plate right now, and he's thinking, Briley Napier's state record for being hit by a pitch, I'm coming for it in 1 game.
Hey, I'll be happy to give it up.
The 1-1, way outside for ball 2.
Yeah, you have a lot of guys, MLB players. I know, like Lou Brock back in the day, coming to see Ricky Henderson take the steals record. I'll give up the HPPs.
The 2-1 to Van Meter, way outside again. And Butler County's in danger of walking in the run. And standing in the on-deck circle is none other than Gavin Childress.
It's a scary opponent right there in the on-deck circle.
The 3-1 coming to Van Meter is a called strike on the outside corner. I think Gavin Childress was saying that his player comparison is Tommy Edman.
He does like Tommy Edman.
He does. The 3-2 pitch with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th is a ground ball up the middle. It's snagged by McKee, the shortstop. He'll throw on and get Van Meter, but a run will score, and it's 10-1 Cougars.
And if it's a 1-1 game, that's a great piece of hitting, way to drive the run in. When it's 9-1, doesn't really matter, but you still have to give Jaron props for doing his job.
He did exactly what he's supposed to, because it makes it to where Gavin Childress can win it here.
Yeah, Gavin looking for the quote-unquote walk-off, and I'll tell you what, if he gets it, he'll count it as a walk-off. He doesn't care what the situation is.
It's 10-1. The 1-0 pitch to Childress is outside for ball 1, and Dane Hawkins stands in the on-deck circle. And am I right to say that Gavin might swing at a ball 4 to make sure that he can get his chance here instead of letting...
It's a possibility.
The 2-0. He watches a pitch right down Broadway for strike 1. As Childress tonight, 1 for 2, walked, singled, and grounded out to the first baseman. And we say this all with a lot of respect. We like Gavin. The 2-1. Swing and a miss at a pitch inside. So I know was one of your favorite teammates. Is that correct?
He's certainly up there. And certainly.
Maybe one of these days we'll have to play. I know that the Cincinnati Bengals play-by-play guy, Dan Horde. The 2-2 pitch to Childress is a line drive right at the shortstop McKee for the final out of the inning. The Cougars do plate 4, and through 6, they lead 10-1. This is Cougar Baseball on K105. We head to the 7th. Mason Miller going to try and shut the door on the Bears. And for the Bears, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 in their order. For Mason Miller so far, 75 pitches. He's thrown the ball very well. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts. He has hit 2 batters tonight, but he's caught 2 batters stealing. Bears are only hitting 182 off of him, so he's thrown the ball very well tonight. And again, Bradley, the key to him, throwing strikes.
He's throwing strikes, and I mean, like I've said, Mason's always had the potential to be a really good starting pitcher. It's always been that control. He's never been able to really find the zone, and he's done a great job tonight and all year long.
Jordan McCready will lead off. He swings at the first pitch again, grounds it to Childress, who will throw on to first, and that is the first out of the inning. Mason Miller going to try and shut the door on the Bears and have the Cougars pick up a big district win. Again, as a reminder, this district game does not count as far as if you ask the KHSAA, it doesn't count. If you ask this Cougar baseball team, I'm sure they'll tell you 100% it counts because it's a win potentially over Butler County. And that's a pitch in the dirt for ball 1 to Clay Vincent. Vincent is 1 for 2. Singled an infield single to shortstop and struck out in his 2 at-bats so far tonight. And that's a pop fly in the infield. Chasing it is Hawkins, and right in front of the dugout, he drops the ball. As that was 3 players going for it right in front of the Butler County dugout, and no one could make the play on it. And with 1 ball and 1 strike, Grayson County's giving Clay Vincent another chance. Not what you wanted. If you're Grayson, when they give you an easy out, you got to take it.
Yeah, it'll help. It helps Mason's pitch count, and he might drive in a run here now.
Clay Vincent, the hitter. The pitch, called strike on the inside corner. And nice job by McCready to frame that one a little bit. That one might have been a little bit inside.
He did a good job sticking that.
The 1-2 coming to Vincent from Mason Miller is fouled into the on-deck circle, and we'll do it one more time.
That in itself was an impressive job fighting that pitch off, because that was a nice breaking ball right there from Mason.
They throw it right back to Chandler McCready. I don't know who went and chased. Oh, is that? No, that wasn't Chase Blaine. Was that Danny Clark going and chasing that foul ball?
Yeah.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes, and the Bears are down to their final outs, and it'll be Chance Caslin, the 9-hole hitter. He's seen Mason Miller twice, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out to Gavin Childress so far tonight. Cougars trying to shut the door on what would be a 10-1 victory over Butler County. The wind and the pitch. Low and inside for ball 1, says our home plate umpire, who again, Bradley, we mentioned, he's been very good tonight.
Yeah, he's done a great job. I haven't had to complain once. And
the 1-0. High for ball 2.
Of course, whenever you're up, you tend to complain a little less.
That is a very good point. But he has been very good.
Right.
Very good tonight. 2 balls and no strikes. Ground ball in the hole. Tough play for Snyder. He'll recover. He'll throw, and the throw is a little bit wide. That's a tough play for Ethan Snyder to make. An infield base hit for Chance Caslin, and the order will now go to the top for Hunter McKee.
That's a tough play to make, and Cody Shepard did the right job by coming off, because that was going to be a near impossible pick to make there.
The at-bat will now turn towards Hunter McKee. He's 0 for 3 tonight, reached on an error, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out to third in his 2 at-bats. He's hit the ball at Dane Hawkins twice, and he does it a third time. Ground ball to Hawkins, and it takes a weird hop on the grass and goes into left field, and I think that one's going to have to be an infield hit as well, because that just took a weird bounce out there.
That hit the lip. That was a big hop, and Dane had it played, and that right there hit the lip where the grass meets the dirt. And anybody who's ever been out here taking ground balls knows if it hits that, it's going to stop, and it's just going to slide.
So 10-1 still remains the score, but Butler County potentially threatening here. It'll be Ross West. He was the starting pitcher tonight, and the first pitch for Mason Miller is low and outside here. Miller again has been spectacular again tonight, trying to finish off the Bears in what would be a 1-run complete game. The 1-0, swing and a miss. That'll move the count here to 1 ball and 1 strike. You can tell Mason Miller, he is locked in. He gets the ball, he puts it on his back, and he's ready to fire it right away. The 1-1 comes, popped out of play, off to the right side, and almost hit somebody down there. Is ducked the last second, just missed him down off to the right.
Hopefully McGee's okay, because I know I saw him out there.
The 1-2 pitch with 2 outs. Mason Miller going to try and finish this one on. Ross West, the hitter. The pitch, Swing and a miss. Down go the Bears, and the Cougars win this one by a final score of 10-1. Big time W for Grayson County in picking this one up. We'll come back, wrap it up after this. This is Cougar Baseball right here on K1. Welcome back to Don Lee Field. Grayson County picks up the win against Butler County by a final score of 10-1. Briley, Mason Miller tonight, he was special once again.
Absolutely. Him in district play this year, he's done a phenomenal job. Out of a high school starting pitcher, all you want is for them to keep you in the game, give your offense a chance to score. But Mason Miller, he's come out here and he has absolutely slammed the door on all three district opponents. He hasn't given them a chance to even think about winning, and that, if you're Danny, you have to love that. You have to have so much confidence right now in Mason Miller going into district tournament play.
Mason Miller against district opponents. You ready for this? 19 innings pitched, 3-0, 11 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 22 strikeouts, and a .368 ERA with a whip under 1.
That is extremely impressive. If you tell anybody coming into the year that, you know, in the 3 biggest games of the year, he's going to have 22 strikeouts and only 3 walks, you're out of this world excited about that.
And if you combine that with his start prior to district play against Breckenridge County, which is as much of a non-district game as a district game could get, I mean, it's a big rivalry. If you combine that over his last 28 innings starting, 2 earned runs with an ERA of .5, 28 strikeouts to only 4 walks.
Right.
He's been throwing the ball extremely well. And I know we talked about it before the Breckenridge County game. The biggest question was, we know Dane Hawkins is the number 1. Who is the number 2? Well, there wasn't any question after the Breckenridge County game. There sure wasn't after the Edmondson game. There really wasn't after the Whitesville game. And now there isn't even like an inkling, because in some instances there's an argument that could be made that he should be the number 1.
He's put up a great year, and he's most certainly rivaling Dane for that quote-unquote ace spot on the rotation.
It's a good problem for Dane Clark to have.
Definitely.
I'm sure he would love to have to sit there and think, okay, I've got two really good pitchers that are throwing the ball very well. Yeah. Who do I go to?
And tonight's by far the biggest start Mason's made, because if he comes out here and he doesn't get out of that bases loaded, nobody out jam, you're in for a real long night if you're the Cougars.
He shuts the door there. Butler County had the bases loaded with nobody out in the top of the first inning and not 1 run crosses the plate. Final score tonight, Grayson County wins against Butler County by a final score of 10-1. Bradley, appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week, I guess, sometime.
At some point.
You'll be back here again. We'll come back, wrap it up after this. This is Cougar Baseball on Grayson County wins tonight by a final score of 10-1 over Butler County. As we run down the final stats of this game, again, the Cougars have now improved to 10-14, 5-1 in 12th district play. As you run down the stats, the winning pitcher tonight, Mason Miller, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts, 0 walks for Mason. He did hit a pair of batters. The loss is straddled to Ross West. For Butler County, he went 1 2/3 of an inning, 7 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Offensively for Grayson County, RBI-wise, Mason Miller had 3 of them. Dane Hawkins with a pair, Gavin Childress joined him with a pair as well. And then single RBIs by Jackson Higdon, Jaron Van Meter, and Eli Watson tonight for Grayson County. The lone RBI for Butler County was by Colton Hudson in that 6th inning. Final line score for Butler County, 1 run on 6 hits and no errors. For Grayson County, it's 10 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors. Cougars will be back in action on Thursday as they will welcome LaRue County here to Don Lee Field, and the K105 Digital Productions crew will be right back here for you when it comes to that, as that was a game that was not originally on our schedule. But due to Friday's Glasgow game getting canceled, we added that to make sure that we could get the Cougars and the Hawks coming up on Thursday. Official start time for that game is going to be 5 o'clock, so our coverage will begin at 4:45. I want to thank the K105 Digital Productions crew for their hard work tonight. Your camera operator was Cody Brock, and your director and color commentator for tonight's broadcast was Briley Napier. So for them, on the night where the Grayson County Cougars improved to 10-14 on the season with a 10-1 victory over Butler County, this is Sam Gormley saying, so long, everyone.